Hello everybody, it's FFV for another weekly update. So it's going to be a long one today because last week was E3, which means we got to talk about E3 stuff. But if you just want to stick around for the first half of the update where I talk about stuff that's not E3, then that's fine too. Videos should continue as normal. I have them all. I recorded everything for this week last week because I actually had time, so that was really good. Getting up to fun stuff in both Let's Plays. So, yeah, I'm just having a good time all around, and it's nice. It's nice to just be able to look forward to a good time with your Let's Plays. Not that I didn't have a good time with Dark Dawn, but it was a very different type of Let's Play. Also, this week for streams, I might be changing it up. I don't know. First of all, summer started. It's not officially summer yet, but my little brother is out of school now, so that means I don't have to watch how late I have to go, because he's done with finals and everything. So I can stream later at night, is what I'm saying. I would like to start doing that because I feel that like 5 o'clock Eastern time is kind of inconvenient for a lot of people. I don't know. I think more people just have time in later at night or in the evening in general. That being said, I have no idea when or what day it's going to be because there are toes I don't want to step on, and I'll try to coordinate that maybe. So yeah, we'll figure it out though. Also on Tuesday, the Final Fantasy V 4-job fiesta, God, I love the alliteration there, is starting up. If you remember from last year, it's where it was like a charity event where a whole bunch of people were streaming Final Fantasy V and having this thing called Gilgabot. It's a Gilgamesh bot on Twitter, giving them out jobs, their job classes for the game. I had a lot of fun with it last year, and I'm participating again this year. I don't think I'm going to get as good a set of jobs, but we'll see. But yeah, so if I don't start that on Tuesday, it's going to start sometime this week. So look forward to that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun last year. If you remember, if you've never seen Final Fantasy V before, it's a treat. It's just fun and chaotic, and you can be assigned some of the most ridiculous things and have to make up your own strategy as you go along. But yeah, I'm really excited to try it again, and it goes throughout the summer, so I'm probably going to play it like once or twice a week till I finish. So yeah, look forward to that. It's for Final Fantasy V Advance is what I'm playing. And yes, the video's going on. Not much else in terms of stuff. I didn't really draw much last week because it was E3. Still got this cold, which is driving me crazy because it's like slightly bothering my throat, just enough that it like affects my speaking, and it's just mucus and mucus. It's not runny nose mucus, it's like thick mucus but constant somehow. I don't know, it's bothering me a lot. But yeah, it's been like 2 weeks now. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's some stuff I drew, but I'm going to just show that over the course of the E3 thing because most of it has to do with E3. But yeah, so if you were just here for the first part of the videos, look forward to streams, the Final Fantasy V especially. I'll just stay tuned on Twitter or my Discord, hint hint, where it's easier to see things that I announce for when exactly stream times are going to be. Like I said, I'm going to try to just get it in the evening time, or night, later at night, just whenever it's most convenient for everybody involved. So yeah, look forward to that, and E3. There's a lot of notes on it. So I'm going to pretty much just go in order of the conferences that I watched, talk about them, mention the games that they announced or the games that I wrote down that they announced, any impressions that I have. So it's not going to be any particular startling information, but so we started off with the Xbox conference. It wasn't the Microsoft conference. They specifically called it the Xbox conference, because It wasn't about any other Microsoft features. It was about the Xbox, yo. And they had a pretty solid showing. They said, we got 50 games to talk about, and there's a whole bunch of exclusives in there, and a bunch of world premieres. I mean, they were first, so it was easy to do world premieres. Let's see. They announced Halo Infinite, which seems to be a new Master Chief Halo game, so that's pretty cool. Ori and the Blind Forest 2, or Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I think it is. It's coming out next year. A game from Software called Sekiro, I think. Fallout 76 they talked about, which we'll talk about more when I get to the Bethesda conference. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which is from the makers of Life is Strange, which looked interesting. Nier Automata is getting a Game of the Year Xbox One version. They talked about Metro Exodus, a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts with Frozen and Monsters Inc. and Toys R Us and Tangled, and Aqua's at the end. Oh, that was a thing. Made the internet go crazy. They talked about Sea of Thieves, Battlefield 5, Forza Horizon 4, which looks pretty cool. The Forza games just look amazing in general. I don't play them, but they look great. Most of the games that they showed were just wow, this is really nice looking. Let's see. So they also announced that they were acquiring a whole bunch of game studios for a dedicated Microsoft game studio conglomerate part of their company. So that's actually pretty cool. It's really nice in general to see big publishers, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, either acquiring or just funding smaller developers and investing in them, because when you invest in it, it means that you think that there's potential in the industry, and it just creates a better environment for everybody. Assuming that Microsoft doesn't just kill it somehow. I'm hoping they get more creative freedom than Rare. But we'll see. But yeah, they got the Initiative, it's called, and they got, amongst other things, Ninja Theory, which is pretty cool. Who I think made Hellblade, right? Senua's Sacrifice. I think that's what's them. They talked about We Happy Few, which looks cool, but apparently the gameplay itself is eh. PUBG is getting there. They announced Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, which is the thing that everyone wanted. Now this one I actually have a drawing for. I made this actually beforehand, as a preemptive. But let me just turn off the blue light filter on this stupid thing. Just a Rita there. Apparently, Ray says if I put my finger in front of the camera, it'll help it go better. But yeah, I just made a little Rita there. But Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Tales of Vesperia was a Tales game that came out on Xbox 360 and PS3, although the PS3 version was a better version that only came out in Japan. It had full voice acting, a whole bunch of other stuff. We got the 360 version that did not have any of that, and it was one of the memes of the internet that we were just never getting the PS3 version. So finally we got it, and man, the memes flew. The memes did fly on that day, especially Bandai Namco EU, Europe. The Europe Bandai Namco Twitter account. No, not that one. But it's beautiful. So yeah, I'm very happy. Also, it was announced for PS4 and Switch. So I'm probably, and I think Steam. I'm probably getting the Switch and the PS4 version because each of those are going to provide two different functions. But yeah, I'll finally get to play Tales of Vesperia. I'm so happy. Talked about the Division 2. Microsoft Game Pass, which seems to be a Netflix type of thing. Sorry, my neck is just driving me crazy today. You pay a flat monthly rate, and you can just play games that they have there. So that's pretty cool. Showed a whole bunch of indie games that I didn't put down because there was too many of them. New Lara Croft game, Session, which everyone thought was Skate 4. It's a skateboarding game. They showed Black Desert, which is that really cool, I think it's Korean MMO. Devil May Cry 5. Not DMC 5, but Devil May Cry 5. an expansion to Cuphead, which looked really cool. Had a female character, a whole bunch of new stuff. I'm just happy to see more Cuphead stuff. It's I love the art style so much. Tunic, I can't read what I wrote here. I think it says Tunic here, which looks like an isometric Zelda type game, which I'm actually pretty interested in. Jump Force, which is like a Shonen Jump fighting game, like a team of three versus team of three fighting game of Shonen Jump characters. So they showed off like Goku, Naruto, Monkey D. Luffy, Light Yagami, Frieza, a few other characters that I probably could remember if I put my mind to it. But yeah, it was really cool. Dying Light 2, a Battletoads game is coming out at some point, a new Battletoads, guys. Just Cause 4, which just looks great. I love Just Cause 3. It's a destruction sandbox. It's beautiful. Gears of War 5, Gears Pop, Gears Pop, which is a Pop Vinyl mobile Gears game. It's a thing. Gears Tactics, so yeah, lots of Gears of War stuff, and a game called Cyberpunk, which looked really cool as well. But yeah, overall, the Xbox conference it was really nice. It was solid as one game after another. It had like low points in it, but it was overall pretty good. The only like fault it had was that most of the games were just trailers. They didn't have release dates, but at least they showed off a lot of cool stuff that we're getting. So yeah, I'm still not getting an Xbox, but I thought it was a good conference. Next up was the Bethesda conference. Oh boy, the Bethesda conference. Okay. First of all, like, it was just... We'll get into it as we go along. Okay, so they showed off a game called Rage 2, started that off with a really good musical number. A really good performance by Andrew W.K. or something. I don't remember his name. Talked about Elder Scrolls Legends, which is that the card game, I think? Elder Scroll Online stuffs, Doom Eternal, which seems to be a sequel to 2016 Doom, which looks really cool. Quake Champions, which is like the thing I don't care about. They talked about Prey. They're making like expansion stuff with a roguelike mode, which is pretty cool. Typhon Hunter mode also, which is like, you essentially have one person trying to hunt out other people who are Typhons, and they can disguise themselves as various objects. It's pretty cool. Wolfenstein 2 is getting an expansion called Youngblood, which takes place in the future with B.G. Blazkowicz's twins, so that's really cool. And a VR thing for it called Cyberpilot, which looked cool. Also there was a guy named Magnus. That we cannot forget about the fact that there is a man named Magnus on stage. There's something about that name. I am Magnus. He was also like a head and a half taller than the guy talking. It was beautiful. But the big thing is that Todd Howard came on stage, and the memes started flying. Todd Howard, oh my gosh, he's gonna announce Skyrim for everything else. So the first thing he did was actually show a trailer with Keegan-Michael Key. I think it's Keegan, right? It wasn't Jordan Peele. I think so. Where he was playing Skyrim with Alexa, and then they announced Skyrim for Alexa, Skyrim for Etch-a-Sketch, Skyrim for your pager, and Skyrim for your refrigerator. So it was hilarious. They just went all in on the, Skyrim is on every platform meme. There was a lot of points, like they took shots at Walmart for leaking all the game stuff before, like a whole bunch of game stuff before the conference. It was just a very comical setup. Todd Howard talked about the fact that he's been with Bethesda for 25 years. I looked it up. He's 47. So, he's been there since he was 22. So, that's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so they had a lot of fun with he had a lot of fun specifically embracing all of the Todd Howard memes. He went full Reggie on it. It was beautiful. It was fun. It was a fun conference. Then he talked about Fallout 76 a lot, which was good because we were worried about it. There's like it's going to be entirely online, which it was like, but you can technically play solo. You can just go about stuff on your own. You don't need to do anything with a party. It's just party type activities. There's, I have no idea what I wrote here. Yeah, dozens, not hundreds of people, so it's not going to be like your typical MMO servers that there's just people everywhere. Like, it's going to still feel like Fallout, just with a few people. You're gonna be able to nuke people though. It's gonna have a little bit of like world building aspects, and it actually looked pretty fun. And you can play the tuba. So Lukagen was very excited about that, and we decided she wanted to make a nuclear tuba army where we would all play tubas and nuke people. So I drew up the promotional poster for it for the Luka tubas. And that's I was very proud of this, actually. I was like, I said to her, can I be the lieutenant in your nuclear tuba army? She said yes. So I said great, and I drew up the promotional poster, and she was like, perfect. So it was very fun. Also, there's a game called Elder Scroll Blades. That is like a mobile Elder Scrolls game that looked really cool. It looked like Elder Scrolls gameplay, but like on your phone. So that was cool. I'm excited to see how that's coming out. They also announced at the very end 2 games. One is called Starfield, which is their RPG type game, Elder Scrolls Fallout type game, but in a space setting, which is a cool concept, and also a JPEG for Elder Scrolls 6. Which, again, I know some people are like, I don't want to get excited over a picture, but I'm going to get excited over a picture. I don't care about you guys. Skyrim represented an incredible amount of time and fun that I had, and yeah, we're getting. My biggest fear was that with Elder Scrolls Online, it would get the Warcraft treatment, where it went from Warcraft 3 to World of Warcraft, and that was it for Warcraft. We're just getting Diablo and StarCraft games now. But no, since Elder Scrolls Online isn't a direct sequel to Skyrim, it takes place earlier. Yeah, we can have another Elder Scrolls game, and I'm excited. Next up was the Devolver Digital Conference, which there's not much I can say, except I'm excited for the Devolver Digital Cinematic Universe. It was a conference. If you haven't seen it, either of them, like last year or this year, go watch last year's and then watch this year, because there's a continuing storyline. It was a thing. Loot box coin. It was great. Next up, we had Squeenix's conference, which not great. They talked about Shadow of Tomb Raider. I keep forgetting that's a Square Enix property. A Final Fantasy XIV Under the Moonlight, which is part of the 4.3 patch or something. A Monster Hunter World crossover with FF14, which was really cool to see. Also, they announced Dragon Warrior 11 is coming stateside here on the 4th of September, so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be nice to get like a classic Dragon Warrior game again, or a regular Dragon Warrior game, not like Dragon Warrior, not monsters, heroes. Game called Babylon's Fall, which they didn't really show much of, but it's being made by Platinum. It looked cool, like there was a guy swinging a sword, chopping arms off another armored guy. Considering that the last game that Square and Platinum collaborated on was Nier Automata, I'm all in on this. I'm just happy whenever Platinum Games gets another chance to make something, because like they have a really, really good track record, especially with like games that I enjoy. So I'm looking forward to whatever this turns out to be. They talked about Project Octopath Traveler, which is just Octopath Traveler now. They never made a different name. So that's coming out July 13th. It looks really good. Just Cause 4 is coming out on my birthday, so that's cool. They also showed a game called The Quiet Man, which was like a deaf guy beating people up. So, or deaf mute beating people up. So that was cool. Next up, we had the Ubisoft conference. The Ubisoft conference was probably my favorite one, honestly. I know Nintendo had some fun stuff to show, but the Ubisoft in general, like, they just kind of go all in on being Ubisoft. Like, they started off with a whole dance routine, like, for Just Dance, but it was like a whole number started outside and worked its way in, and the song was good. There was dancing pandas, there was a band, a marching band. So like, they just, I don't know, I really enjoy their, like, when it's not like cringy comedy that they've done in the past years. Like, I enjoy when they're just like, you know what, we're not one of the big three, so let's just have fun. So I really respect that. So they talked about Just Panda, which is also coming out on the Wii again. I love it. Beyond Good and Evil 2 they talked about, which looks really cool. It's having a thing. Joseph Gordon-Levitt came on stage because he's part of a studio that kind of is like a creator thing that, I don't know, I forgot what it's called, but they are essentially outsourcing the internet for art and music and other stuff for the game, and they'll pay people for it, so that's cool. Like graffiti and stuff that'll show up on buildings. So like, I don't know, it's just, I really like the fact that it's like including the viewers, including the game players in the game making process, allowing people to show their stuff, compensating them for it, not just exposure. So it's cool. Talked about Rainbow Six Siege, Trials Rising, which is another Trials game, you know, with the bicycle, which it's just fun to look at. They started that off with a guy riding a motorcycle coming on stage, tripping into a podium and breaking a whole bunch of stuff on purpose. It was great. Rabbids DLC. So the the Mario and Rabbids is getting Donkey Kong DLC. So it's like, okay, cool. So what does Ubisoft do? Ubisoft gets Grant Kirkhope up on stage with an actual, like, band. I forgot their name, but they were really good, including an electric cello and I think a regular violin or electric violin. But they had, like, they put a band up on stage and played the music from the Donkey Kong series, which included at one point the DK rap. He was just like, but yeah, so they just got Grant Kirkhope up on stage to conduct Donkey Kong music. I was like, yes, this is good. Ubisoft, it was nice. Talked about a game called Skull and Bones, Transference, Starlink, which is like their version of a Toys to Life thing. There's like a starship and you put your characters on it and the game recognizes it. And everyone's like, oh, well, this is the best Star Fox game I've ever seen. And then they announced Star Fox for it. And Miyamoto was in the audience, so they gave him like a customized model of it. So I'm just going to assume Miyamoto is going to be at every Ubisoft conference now, because he was last year when they announced Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And now he was in this year, so I think he's just going to be in every Ubisoft conference. And yeah, I'm just waiting for Nintendo to buy Ubisoft. Let's see, talked about For Honor, The Crew 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which actually looks really good, takes place in Greece. There's no magical hat that lets you possess people, but the Greek setting kind of offsets the fact that they're lying with the title. It's not a Mario Odyssey crossover. All in all, I enjoyed the Ubisoft conference. Like, I'm not going to be playing most of these games. It's most of the time it's just like, I'm not going to be playing most of these games, but the conference itself seemed pretty nice. It was entertaining, which was good. I didn't really like the Square Enix one. Like, there was a few good things, but like most of the time it's just like... next up we had Sony, which... Sony's conference was weird. Started off in a church. And they showed footage from The Last of Us 2 that made the internet go crazy. Showed Very Two Close Friends. Um, but it looked good. Oh man, oh man, oh man, the internet's fun. Uh, but so then they moved everybody. It seems like they moved everybody from the church to another venue. And also before The Last of Us, they had a guy playing banjo there. It was very good, but it was just a guy playing banjo there. Then they moved to another venue where they had a guy. They're announcing a game called Ghost of Tsushima, I think. But they had a guy playing this like really cool wood flute thing, traditional Japanese instrument that I have no idea what the name is. But he was very good, and a lot of people got angry on the internet because of cultural appropriation when like people that actually know things were like, no, this guy is a recognized master at the art. It's not cultural appropriation. He's good at it. He's been trained. Shut up. And they didn't really talk about much. They talked about a game called Control, which I don't even remember what it is anymore. Resident Evil 2 remake, which is cool. This thing called Trover? I don't know. I have like the least amount of notes on Sony's conference. They showed the Kingdom Hearts trailer with like a little bit more attached to it. Square Enix didn't show off the Kingdom Hearts trailer. Or Final Fantasy VII. I didn't expect Final Fantasy VII Remake, but Square Enix didn't even show off the Kingdom Hearts trailer. I don't think they did anyway. I didn't write it down, which means it wasn't special or new. They showed a whole bunch of Death Stranding, which again is just like a what the heck is going on thing. They showed Neo, Nioh, and they showed a bunch of Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game. So Sony's conference kind of stank. I just kind of tuned out for most of it because it was just not. It was like dragging on. They kept on having like these portions where they would cut back to like a bunch of commentators and like during intermission sequences, and that just completely cut anything that they had. But yeah, it kind of stank. And finally we have Nintendo. So Nintendo announced a game called Daemon X Machina, which that was it. They didn't really show much. It was like a robot fighting thing. I think they showed more off at the treehouse, but I missed that. Xenoblade 2 prequel DLC, like a whole story thing that was like happened way back in the past. I've actually been playing a whole bunch of Xenoblade 2 this week, and I stopped playing because it was like the blade management was getting kind of annoying. But if I would have played like another like 4 or 5 hours, or at least like a little bit into the story, I would have unlocked something that made raising blades a lot easier with mercenary stuff. So yeah, like I keep getting more and more into the game, and it like just keeps giving back more. It's great. So that looks really cool. It's coming out in September. This talked about Pokemon Let's Go, which I'm excited for. It's not going to be a traditional Pokemon game, but I'm still excited for it. Talked about Super Mario Party, which is coming out in October, which looks like it's like a return to form for Mario Party games. There's going to be stars and coins and no car. They talked about Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is the Switch Fire Emblem game, and it looks like it has the console Fire Emblem look to it, so it's really nice. They mentioned Fortnite, which I keep getting ads for on YouTube, and it's driving me nuts. Overcooked 2, which the first game looked fun. Hollow Knight, amongst other things. Hollow Knight came out that day. And then they talked about Super Smash Bros. Everyone is here. I was blown away. I was expecting just like a big roster or something, but no. They're making the best of Smash Bros. They are including every single character that was in the past 4 games, plus Inkling and Daisy and Ridley. They announced Ridley at the end, and everyone was like, they're including all the stages from past games, which I'm most excited to see stages from Brawl and the 3DS version, because like no one really played the 3DS version, but it had such fun stages like Magic Hand. And Newport City, man, I'm so happy. That was my favorite Smash Bros. Stage. And just like, you know, a whole roster of items, new Pokemon, more assist trophies. It's just everything. Like, they're making this the what Sakurai is saying, the last Smash Bros. Game, just like Brawl was the last Smash Bros. Game and Smash 4 was the last Smash Bros. Game. But this actually looks like it's the last Smash Bros. Game. So we saw like a lot of changes they made to the fighting and made it more competitive-y. It looks like it's going to be really, really good. And they didn't really talk about any of the single-player modes, as far as I know. I missed a lot of the Treehouse stuff because I was recording and things. But I'm really hoping that there's, the traditional story mode. Maybe they'll bring back stuff from Brawl. They'll bring back, if they don't want to do something like Subspace Emissary, maybe they'll do something like Adventure Mode in Melee. You never know. One of the big things for me, though, is that they're making it so you have to unlock the characters again. There's just going to be the core characters from the original game, and then you have to unlock the other 60 or 50 some odd people, which is great. Also, Snake is back. But yeah, I'm so happy that you actually have to unlock the characters again, because like it severely decreased the play value for me of Smash Bros. 4, that everyone was just there. It was like you can just turn the game on and start playing, and I was like, eh. But like, it's gonna be really fun to be able to just start a new file, have to work your way into unlocking everybody. Wolf, I love Wolf. Young Link, Toon Link, regular Link, like they changed a bunch of the characters too. Gandorf is now like he was in Melee, the Ocarina of Time outfit, but his sword works, he's also faster. Like they did so many changes. And I'm really excited for it. It's coming out December 7th, which since it's 3 days after my birthday, I'm taking credit for this one, guys. Thank you all. It is no problem. I know we didn't get the Wind Waker port or Paper Mario Thousand Year Door HD, but we got this. Also, they announced Inkling, Daisy, and Ridley, but there's still one more character slot that they said there were 66, but they only announced 65 people. So maybe they're announcing a new character. Maybe there's gonna be more. Who knows? But yeah, in the meantime, it's gonna be good. But that's about it for E3. Nintendo's was like, it was okay. I'm still excited, but like I tempered all of my expectations before E3. I was like, I have zero standards. I just want to be surprised. So I was surprised, and I was happy. A lot of people weren't. A lot of people wanted a lot of things, like Waluigi, which they're like, everyone is here. Meaning all the past characters are now in the game, and everyone's like, but what about Waluigi? He wasn't a past character. I don't care about your memes. He wasn't a past character. Don't expect him. But, yeah, he's going to be assist trophy again. Also, you can kill assist trophies now. It's great. Most of them. But yeah, that's it for the weekly update. Thank you all very much for watching. As in general, E3 was good this year. I don't think it was the best. It was far from the best. There was a lot that I was disappointed by, but in general, like, there's a lot of good games I'm excited for over the coming year or years. So, yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and again, look forward to Final Fantasy V streams and videos and all the other fun stuff happening around here. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.